The rich men mentioned above got up to go to that country, and I went with them too. And on the way they lived their good life, each his own, for they had fortunes as mentioned. When they came near to the country, the taste and the other things began to spoil. By them too, they felt that it had become spoiled by them. I spoke up to them, just consider if now, when you have not yet entered the country, the taste, appearance, and scent have already become spoiled for you, how will it be when you go in? And all the more so, how can you still help them? I took my bread and water and gave them to them. They felt in my bread and water all the tastes and all the scents, and it was set right by them, that which had been ruined by them. In other words, the taste, the appearance, and the smell. And the other country, that is the country where the garden was, where the taste had been ruined, as mentioned, started to look around and to repair the country's ruined tastes, and so forth. They came to a decision. Inasmuch as there is a land of wealth, in other words, that the very land mentioned above with whom the beggar had spoken, as mentioned, it seemed to them, the country where the garden was, found appealing, that their gardener who had become lost, through whom they had lived a good life, is from the same root, is from the same people of the land of riches, who also lived a good life. Therefore, they liked the idea that they should send off to the land of wealth. They will surely help them. They did so, and sent messengers to the land of wealth. The messengers went, and they encountered each other. The emissaries came up against the people of that very land of riches on the way, for the land of wealth themselves wanted to go to them, as mentioned. They asked the messengers, "Where are you going?" They answered, "We are going to the land of wealth, so that they will help us." They spoke up, "We ourselves are that rich country, and we are going to you." The deaf beggar, in other words, the deaf beggar who was telling all this, spoke up then, "Don't you need me? For you cannot go there and help them," as mentioned above, because when they only so much as came near the country, they themselves were already affected, all the more so if they would go inside the city. As mentioned, therefore you stay here, and I will go with the emissaries to help them. I went with the emissaries, arrived at the country, and entered a city. I saw people coming, and one of them said a vertel, a wisecrack, or said something. And then more people came up until a small crowd was formed, and they said vertlach, and they laughed. I listened up to what they were schmoozing and heard them speaking obscene language. This one said a quip of foul speech, said a dirty joke, and that one spoke a little more subtle, and this one laughed, and that one had enjoyment, and so forth, and as is their way. Later, I went further to another city of that country and saw two people fighting with each other on account of some business deal. They went to the courthouse to bring suit, and the court decided for them. This one is entitled, and that one is obligated. They went out from the court. Afterwards, they again bickered with each other and said that they no longer want this courthouse. They only want another courthouse. And they chose for themselves another courthouse and brought their case before the other courthouse. Afterwards, one of them again got into an argument with someone else. And again, they selected a different courthouse. And so they fought on and on there, this one with that one, and that one with this one, always choosing a different court, until the entire city was filled with courthouses. I took a look, and I saw that this was due to there being no truth there. Now, this one tilts the verdict and favors this one. In other words, he curries favor with him and decides his favor, and later the other favors him. In other words, later the other decides in his favor in return, for they take bribery, and they have no truth there. Afterwards I saw that they are full of adultery, and there are so many illicit relations there that it has already become like altogether permissible thing for them. And I said to them, on account of this, the taste, the smell, and the vision were ruined for them, because the aforementioned cruel king had unleashed on them the three aforementioned groups of slaves, so that they should go and ruin the country.